Hello there. That nice low rumbling that seems to be just everywhere in the apartment. They're jackhammering just outside the apartment, and it feels like perhaps they are tunneling into the apartment and will at any moment crash through the ceiling. Probably not going to happen. That's what it feels like. Anyways, so today I was thinking about like the trajectory of the company, of my company, and what that's been like, and how in the beginning it felt very much like if I just work harder, the business will grow more. And if I just work harder, I'll get more clients. If I just work harder, I'll make more money. And while it's true that you have to do the work, there's no shortcuts, but it's not true that the amount that you work is directly linked to the success that you have. It's not like you work hard and then you like get a small increase in your business, or like you make a social media post and you gain more followers. You post a blog and you get a client. There's not that direct link between hardworking or the hard work that you do and the success that you have in business. I wish that it were. It would be really lovely if it was just like a straight linear graph, like hard work and time and then just like that was a terrible hand gesturing of linear graphness, but I think you get it. If that were the case, it would be a lot easier to stick with being in small business, because you would see the gains that you're making, right? You would work hard and then you'd have success, and it would be a positive feedback loop. But when that doesn't happen and we work hard but we don't get any sort of positive feedback, then it can be really discouraging. And what we have to keep in mind as small business owners is that it's more of a different relationship, right? So you put in a lot of work over a lot of months, and your business will sort of go flat. Maybe it's going up a little bit, and then suddenly it's sort of hockey sticks. And that's really, really hard to believe that that's going to happen when you're a small business owner, because especially in the beginning, you've got no experience and you sort of think like, what's wrong? Why is this not working for me? And I think the best analogy I've ever heard about this is from one of the guys on the Fizzle Show. It's a podcast that I've listened to, and he talks about an ice cube, and how if you were to put an ice cube in a room that was at minus 10 degrees, that ice cube would obviously be frozen. And you could turn the temperature up in that room by 1 degree and it wouldn't make a difference, right? You go from minus 10 to minus 9, wouldn't make a difference. That ice cube is still going to be frozen. And you could continue to do that, right? You turn it up by 1 degree, 1 degree, 1 degree, and every move is 1 degree. It's worth 1 degree of difference in temperature, and none of it matters. None of it will have any impact on that ice cube until you get to 0. And between 0 and 1 degree is when that ice cube starts to melt. But that incremental change, the difference between 0 and 1 is the same difference as between -1 and 0, as -2 and -1. But it's not until you reach that 0 degrees to +1 that you start to see the ice cube melt. It took 10 degrees to get to 0, and it was the 11th degree that actually is where you started seeing some impact on the ice cube. And I love this analogy. I think it very much describes how business works, in that you have to put in all that hard work. It's not that none of that work matters. It does matter. It's just that until you get to that 11th degree, you might not see an impact in your business, or you'll see a very small impact. So that was certainly the case for me. I felt like I put in a ton of hours. I did put in a ton of hours, not just that I felt like it, in the first year. And it wasn't really until the end of last year that things started to really pick up for me. And even at the beginning of this year, it really started to pick up. And I have a team now, but tripled the income of the business in the course of 6 months, kind of thing. And it wasn't because I did anything specific in those 6 months. I mean, there are specific things that I was doing, but it wasn't those 6 months. It was the whole year leading up to that mattered as well. But in that year, I didn't know. I couldn't tell, because it's not until you reach that 11th degree, you go from 0 to 1, that it makes a difference. So I would love to hear about your 11th degree story. When was your business going from sort of making small gains to suddenly picking up? And what worked for you? What was the hard work that you put in? Tell me your story. I would love to know your story. I posted a more in-depth description of this on Instagram, so I will post a link to that so you can read the full story of it. But let me know your story. I'd love to hear it. Let me know in the comments. I hope you're doing well, and I'll see you tomorrow.